That is true, and I mean both players are 3-0. So here we go into team preview right now. We see off screen Gabby has Metagross, Scrafty, Politoed, Thundurus, Amoonguss, and Kingdra, another rain team. So we see that the gloomy northwest bringing out all the rain that it has, and Jhoqk gonna be running Swampert, Sableye, Venusaur, Arcanine, Absol, and Excadrill. Absol is one Pokemon
Absol's
that I actually
a very interesting choice. Arcanine's a Pokemon, and Arcanine and Swampert both, some that get a kind of a fringe bit of usage, but are cool to see. Excadrill, another one that getting more common with that Steel offense, really helping against all these Hyper Voice users. It's interesting looking at Gabby's team. You know, they share Politoed and Amoonguss, two Pokemon you're going to see on Rain, and obviously Politoed on Rain, and Amoonguss losing its fire weakness helps a lot. And Scrafty is shared also, but it's a completely different team. Not looking for Trick Room, going to be using Kingdra probably for a lot of its offense. Sharing a lot of Pokemon, but playing a totally different way.
On we see 4 Pokemon that could possibly Mega: Absol, Venusaur, Swampert, and Sableye. Wonder which one's going to be Mega. I would all 3 of them. Absol, barring Absol.
Sableye's not going to Mega.
Sableye can Mega. It's
not
actually
going
pretty
to.
good.
I will go out on that limb. I think probably Absol and Venusaur, I wouldn't be surprised if they both carry the Mega Stone. It looks like a team that could very easily support Venusaur with the Sableye and Will-O-Wisps around. That's the lead we see. And so now that we've seen it, I would expect the Venusaur is the one that's going to Mega. I bet it's 2 modes that he has within his team that he reads from team preview.
Right. We see Sableye and Venusaur out for Jhoqk's side. We see Gabby going to go with Amoonguss and Thundurus.
Amoonguss is not very useful here, really. No. It could put Sableye to sleep, but it could also get burnt, which will eventually mean Venusaur wins that exchange. Thundurus can do maybe a little bit like Thunderbolt Sableye, but really Venusaur is not threatened here, and Venusaur is the more important Pokemon. And so I'm sure Jhoqk's happy with that position of confidently having Venusaur in the field for a couple turns before Gabby can react.
Thundurus is going to go ahead and protect itself this turn, not going to try to spend time going for a taunt, but then, of course, Sableye gets Fake Out support. Does go for the Fake Out on the Amoonguss as Venusaur goes for the Sludge Bomb with Thunder, so good protect right there from JTK's side. Amoonguss there most likely trying to go for a Spore onto that Sableye.
Yeah, and so Venusaur is a tough Pokemon for Rain to take down. Amoonguss and Thundurus aren't going to do it. Politoed's not going to do it. Remembering back to Gabby's team preview, Scrafty, not Kingdra aren't going to do it either, really. It's going to take that Metagross. I would expect Gabby did bring it, knowing that Venusaur was an option. We'll see how she chooses to protect it, because she can't afford to get it burnt.
Does go straight into that Metagross. You're right, there it is. Probably trying to take that Sludge Bomb that was going to come. Sableye goes for the Wolves. Where's it going? Metagross. Oh, my God. Right off the bat.
Yeah, that's huge. If this doesn't Lum off, which I don't expect it will, and it doesn't, it's now going to be really hard for Gabby to ever get the KO on that Venusaur.
Amoonguss does go for the Spore, but unfortunately the damage has been done. Metagross has been burned. That's going to, I think
that was an odd risk for Gabby to take. She knew it was a crucial Pokemon. Will-O-Wisp was going somewhere that turn. It was anybody's guess which spot it was going to, but even if you considered a coin flip, you don't want to switch Metagross into.
She was most likely trying to get that Sludge Bomb to be immune. So
yeah.
she was definitely trying to get that switch in. Unfortunately, Jhoqk changed it up that turn and did a whole reverse. Will-O-Wisp into the Metagross slot, Sludge Bomb that Amoonguss.
Switches the sleeping Sableye out. He's probably content with it. Got the most important thing burnt. If it's never attacks again the rest of the game, that's fine.
We do see Metagross making an appearance. Of course, Metagross is now one of the more popular Pokemon in the game.
I would guess that with Tough Claws, this Zen Head probably still 2 shots, despite the burn. Almost certainly still 2 shots. So, even with the burn, it's still going to be Gabby's best way to take out Venusaur, so it's going to be crucial to this game.
Venusaur protecting itself from the Zen Headbutt. Good call right there. Jhoqk is playing absolutely
really well. Yeah, now with Excadrill in that Metagross can't really afford to do that much. It protected this turn, so not going to be able to stay in, most likely.
Scarf Excadrill is a thing, I believe. It's got pretty good typing. Ground, Steel, hit those Fairies, hit those Heat Rans and stuff like that. Metagross is going to protect itself this turn, does not want to try to take anything from that Excadrill. What's going to happen now? Excadrill goes for the Drill Run. Targets on the
wow,
good
just so many predictions going in Jhoqk's way.
And Venusaur goes for the Sludge Bomb, doubles up in that Amoonguss slot.
If Amoonguss gets knocked out here...
Amoonguss does get knocked out, and Gabby goes down
Jhoqk's seizing just an enormous lead. Amoonguss is going to be one of Gabby's better ways to limit what that Excadrill could do. Hopefully put it to sleep to keep it from earthquaking Metagross. That's another option out the window now. Probably has some water Pokemon. She carries too many to not bring at least one. That's going to be now her answer to Excadrill, but it's like a chain of answers. She's having to answer Excadrill just to protect Metagross so that it can eventually answer Venusaur. But meanwhile, Metagross is losing that burn damage every turn. It's already close to half health.
One of the things that I've noticed lately is that Drill Run's becoming a lot bigger. You know, I see right here, if it gets Drill Run, people are trying to opt for Drill Run instead. And I think what Gabby was trying to do there was probably protect. She knew the Venusaur was going to protect. Or she thought the Venusaur was going to protect, because Excadrill, if it did have to try to hit that Metagross, it had to Earthquake.
Earthquake, right.
And then next turn, you know, maybe take the Earthquake
and that's why
then go for that Zen Headbutt, but good.
If you're not trying to sweep with a ground Pokemon, you're just trying to get crucial knockouts, then the Drill Run's really useful because you don't have to worry about as many things and can go after double targets in ways you otherwise couldn't.
We do see the Zen Headbutt land onto the Venusaur. This is going to do a lot of damage, I think.
Yeah, this is the
Venusaur hangs on. But flinches, cannot move, so unfortunate right there. I think right now Jhoqk's all he's doing, he's leaving that Mega Metagross alone because it's burned, not going to be doing too much damage, and just go for that Politoed.
Yeah, but it still did a huge amount of damage. I think he could have just won the game by getting the Drill Run onto Metagross that turn. You know, he's made a lot of predictions there. He expected probably Metagross switch, knowing that Gabby couldn't afford to lose it. Gabby,
and Thundurus is still there. Thundurus is still in the back.
Right, so he was certainly expecting that switch. Now it happens. And it just, he missed a prediction that turn, but because of the burn, it didn't completely cost him.
And Excadrill goes for the Drill Run, going to go for the safe option right now, going to go for the Giga Drain on the Politoed. Massive amount of damage, I believe, but Politoed hangs on.
But a useful amount of healing, yeah.
That's what's going to be important.
Still not, maybe close to being able to survive as in Headbutt, but if the Scald hits it, obviously chooses to hit Excadrill. Yeah, just 2 turns of missed predictions there kind of swings the momentum back a bit. You know, if Jhoqk had Drill Run to the Metagross the first turn, would have been great. If he Drill Run to the Politoed this turn to prevent the Scald, probably also would have been game winning. But 2 turns of missed predictions means Gabby's back in this, but he's got another ground Pokemon.
I mean, we see so many Pokemon that Gabby has to try to get around right now. I mean, this Swampert, Metagross does not like facing off against Swampert.
I mean,
Sableye could carry foul play.
Let's ignore Venusaur right now. What does she do to beat Swampert?
I mean, Scald will do a good amount of damage.
Scald in the rain will do a good amount of damage.
Thundurus maybe
is going to be outspending Giga Drained. Hidden Power Ice isn't going to do anything to that Swampert. If Giga Drain targets Politoed this turn, I'm not sure Gabby has any way to ever KO the Swampert, never mind the Venusaur. Because I don't think Politoed gets a Scald off, and he doesn't even try. Goes for the Helping Hand. And
we see Politoed go for the Helping Hand onto Thundurus. Thundurus goes for the Hidden Power. Most likely going to try to target down this Venusaur. That's not going to do too much. Thick Fat. Such a good ability to put on Venusaur.
I mean, that was flying. That did more than I would have expected an Ice to do.
And we see the Sludge Bomb from Venusaur land onto the Thundurus, and that does a lot of damage. Swampert goes straight for the Earth Power, going to be able to do a lot of damage to that Politoed, pick up the knockout. Yeah, it's not looking too good for JTK right now.
I mean, Gabby might be able to knock out one of the 2, but both is a stretch. Both isn't happening. Thundurus, Metagross has to deal all the damage, meanwhile being threatened immensely by Swampert. With the burn, it can't do enough damage to Swampert to take it off the field. It's going to eventually get hit by an Earth Power and be knocked out. And yeah, and then there's just Sableye sitting in the background in case it ever matters.
And if pretty much JTK cannot take out both Pokemon at once, so, you know, Sableye's going to come in, fake out, and then just be able to do some work.
Well, Sableye's asleep.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
so
about that.
A flinch here would obviously be pretty much necessary.
And Swampert does not flinch. Goes for the Ice Beam, picks up the knockout on the Thundurus.
And not the knockout I expect him to take, but taking either one really comes close to ending the game. We saw how little that Zen Headbutt did to Swampert. I'm not even sure Metagross can do enough damage before Burn KOs it. Like Jhoqk might need him to attack again. Having to kill Sableye even asleep will take too many turns, and so Gabby concedes knowing that's the case.
And that was a pretty well played game.
I thought Jhoqk played incredibly.